Ever wondered why in French we say l'hôpital, but le haricot? So many times in my time in France, I've asked French people and they say, c'est juste comme ça. And my brain has gone, no, there must be a reason. I need to know. Has this happened to you too? Well, I've found the reason, and it's that there are two kinds of H in the French language. My mind was blown. Du coup, if this is new information for you, keep on watching. Allez, c'est parti. Salut tout le monde and welcome back to French in Plain Sight. Moi, c'est Alex, and here on the channel, I aim to make the French language easier to digest for English speakers who are at an intermediate level. Alors, the French language is not known for its easy pronunciation. Tricky sounds are everywhere for English speakers, and pronunciation can change depending on the letters before and after. One thing that kept me stuck for ages is why we say l'hôpital, l'hôtel, and l'histoire, yet le haricot, le hameau, and le hamster, when all six start with the same letter, H. Equally, why say les hôpitaux, les hôtels, and les histoires in the plural form with the liaison between the S and the H, but then when we have to say les haricots, les hameaux, and les hamsters, boom, no liaison. Then I learned that there are two kinds of H in the French language, le H muet and le H aspiré. Le H muet translates to the silent H, or mute H. It is not pronounced, which is why we elide le and la to L apostrophe, and why we make the liaison when there's le in front of it. We're essentially imagining that the H isn't there, and we're eliding the le la into L apostrophe, just like we would in front of any vowel. L'initiative, l'océan, l'alphabet. L'hôpital, l'hôtel, l'histoire, l'herbe, l'habitude, l'heure, l'horloge, all have an H muet. And some verbs that have an H muet include habiter, héberger, and s'habituer. And you can tell with that last one that it's an H muet because there's an S apostrophe and not se habituer. Le H aspiré, on the other hand, is also silent, but there's no elision. That is, that the le, la don't become L apostrophe. Le haricot, le hameau, le hamster, le héros take an H aspiré. Some verbs with H aspiré include hurler, harceler, hanter. We say je hurle, je harcèle, and je hante rather than j'hurle, j'harcèle, and j'hante. So it's satisfying to know that there is a reason why it's la hauteur, but l'horrible expérience. But how do we remember or recognize which words start with an H muet and which start with an H aspiré? Is there a rule? Well, no, unfortunately. According to TV5 Monde, the answer is in the etymology of the words. Words from Latin have an H muet, and words from more Germanic origins have an H aspiré. I'm not going to go further into that in this video because I just want you to come away being more comfortable pronouncing these words. Alors, while there's no easy rule, here are my 3 tips for more accurately pronouncing words starting with H. Tip number 1 is to stay alert to whether or not they are written with a full article when singular, i.e. le and la, or written with an elided article, L apostrophe. If it's le or la, you know it's an H aspiré. Equally, if you see it conjugated with je, is it je or is it J apostrophe? If je, then it's an H aspiré, like with je hurle or je hante. Tip number 2 is to look out for when a noun or adjective has ce, cette, or cette in front of it. We say cette femme because cette goes with feminine nouns, and ce livre because ce goes with masculine nouns. We say cet homme with one T because cet goes with masculine nouns that start with a vowel or an H muet. We still make that liaison. However, if it's an H aspiré, it stays as ce. For example, ce héros. And nope, that's not a typo. There is an S at the end of the singular form with hero in French. Plural would be ces héros. And notice there's no liaison between this S and the H. It would be ces hommes, but not ces héros. It would be ces héros. And tip number 3 is guess. In the heat of the moment, or dans le feu de l'action, that is a real conversation, the most important thing is to se faire comprendre, to be understood. A common mistake amongst French natives is to say les haricots. I've heard it, instead of les haricots. So it's far from the end of the world if you make the same error. You only get better by trying and either getting corrected or by stumbling across the pronunciation over the course of your studies. Voilà, voilà. I am by no means a pronunciation expert. I just wanted to share this with you because not knowing that there were 2 types of H plagued me for so long. For many people, it doesn't bother them at all, but my guess is that if you've watched up until now, you are a bit like me, so I hope you found this lesson valuable. If so, please do consider clicking that thumbs up button down below. It really helps me out. This is simply an introduction to les H en français, so please feel free to go further and research more details and specific examples, and leave your findings in the comments ci-dessous. By the way, for my 6 tips on how to speak French with more confidence as a foreigner learning the language, you can download my free guide via the link in the video description. But until next time, tout le monde, merci beaucoup d'avoir regardé. Head over to this random video next, and I'll see you la prochaine fois. Ciao, ciao.